From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will turn his focus to the ongoing crisis in Haiti today as he speaks with some world leaders while in New York City ahead of the 78th meeting of the UN General Assembly.
Justin Trudeau will meet with Haiti's acting prime minister amid violence from criminal gangs and political unrest in the Caribbean country. Trudeau arrived in New York Sunday and delivered remarks to the Summit of the Future, telling leaders they had a choice to stick their heads in the sand or come together to confront global challenges.
Collectively, we have a responsibility to set our differences aside.
Later Monday, Trudeau is scheduled to have a much different type of conversation while making his debut on CBS's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Kelly Malone, The Canadian Press, New York.
There are two very different updates to report this morning in the intensive multi-day searches for two missing children in Manitoba and in British Columbia. Mounties in northeastern Manitoba say a 6-year-old boy, missing since shortly after his arrival at school Wednesday morning, has been found dead. Shamattawa RCMP say Johnson Redhead's body was found last night in a marshy area 3.5 kilometers from his school on the remote First Nation. And police leading a search for a 6-year-old nonverbal girl missing since Thursday from outside her home near Burns Lake in north central BC have found her safe in a forested area near Southside. Her mother, Gail Skin, says she's grateful and so very relieved.
I was yelling and saying thank you and that, and the lady gave me my baby, and I felt so complete.
She calls her daughter strong and says she'll be checked out by doctors in Burns Lake. Pope Francis has canceled his audiences at the Vatican this week because of a slight flu-like state. A statement early today from the Vatican described the move as a precaution just days before the pontiff is to embark on a trip to Luxembourg and Belgium. The 87-year-old pope has had a packed schedule since he returned from a record 11-day journey through Asia earlier this month. The constitutionality of an Ontario law will be tested in court today. It allows hospitals to place discharged patients into nursing homes, not of their choosing. Ruth Poupard is one of 5 people in Ontario who have been charged $400 a day for refusing to move from hospital into a long-term care home in Windsor that her family hated. Her daughter, Michelle Campeau, believes the law should be struck down.
I feel like it's an intimidation factor. They're just trying to say, okay, you're too old, move on.
The province says the new law does not violate the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and is necessary to free up scarce hospital beds. Ukraine's president has visited the Pennsylvania ammunition factory that is producing one of the most critically needed munitions for his country's fight to fend off Russian ground forces 2.5 years into Russia's invasion. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, NFL action on Sunday saw Patrick Mahomes throw a pair of touchdown passes, and the Kansas City defense helped keep the Chiefs unbeaten with a 22-17 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Quarterback Sam Darnold matched his career high with 4 touchdown passes, and the undefeated Minnesota Vikings trounced the Houston Texans 34-7. Tonight, in Monday Night Football, the unbeaten Buffalo Bills will aim to win their 3rd straight when they host the 0-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. The second game will see the 0-2 Cincinnati Bengals host the 1-1 Washington Commanders. In baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays edged the Toronto Blue Jays 4-3 to complete a 3-game sweep of that series. The Detroit Tigers moved into a tie for the second American League wildcard spot with a 4-3 win over Baltimore. And the Chicago White Sox lost 4-2 to San Diego, meaning the White Sox have tied the dubious post-1900 MLB record of 120 losses in a season. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.